Alright guys, in this tutorial we're going to teach you how to go from a stock cluster to a fancy Illumaesthetic cluster. So first things first, we're going to take off the shroud. Now that the cluster face is off, we're going to pry the plastic covers off. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically pry from 90 degrees on here and pop it off like that. Make sure you save these counterweights, and note that these are bigger than these. So I'm going to pop it off. And then these as well. And these don't have weights in them. Okay, so this is what the needles look like. And you want to basically remove the needle without the pin coming out. So how you're going to do that is you can see here, there's a pin inside. You have access to the pin. So what you're going to do is you're going to take something like another needle or something similar, and basically you're going to push down while prying up. So you can either have a friend do this or simultaneously do something like this and pry up. So we're going to go ahead and try that. This is a flathead screwdriver and a pry tool, and then I'm going to use another needle to pry up. So here, this here, and it may be helpful to have a friend if you have one, and just like that. So you can see the needle came out and that metal pin is still there. So same thing with this, flathead screwdriver, put it under. Push down. Pry up, just like that. Now that the needles are off, you're just going to go ahead and pull the plastic flanges off. Just get a nail under there or use a blade and just pry it. This face will come off as one whole unit, like that, to the side. And you're going to basically separate this bezel from the face. So you can see that it's been welded in, but you can just pop it out like that. So go ahead and do that. This is kind of if you don't care about your old face, in which case, in this case we don't. So I'm just doing this, but there are more elegant, safer ways to do this. But you can see the face is taking it fine. So if you really just wanted to do this right off the bat, it doesn't really matter. And there, that's separated. Alright, so now that you got the face out, we're gonna start assembling it. So you're gonna take your new face, grab your bezel, and your bezel holes should line up exactly, and they'll snap into place. So line it up, and put it in. Some of them, not all of them will snap based on how you've pried it, but some of them will, and that's enough to hold it in. So there you go, it's in. Snap the last bits. Okay, now I'm going to place it on. Slide it over here. Goes on like that. And now I'm going to start putting the ring clips back in. So I'm going to pop them in. You should hear a nice satisfying pop. Just like that. That's it. So now we're going to go ahead and put the needles in. So make sure you have the needles reassembled. Don't forget the weights, and remember that the weights are on the two bigger ones, as well as the two temp ones. The temp ones are the same. And make sure that you do put the longer needle on the tack and the shorter needle on the speedo. So the way you want to do this is all of them actually align to 0. So this is similar to the 0405 STI, but you're going to just carefully put the needle on very lightly, and just so you see how there's a stop right here. The motor has stops. You're just going to push that left stop all the way to the 0 line right here. Same thing with the speedo. Push it to that 0 line, and it should just stop something like this. If you've gone past 0, then you can always go this way, push it over, and do that. Same thing with the temp. So the temp is exactly at that C tick mark. So right here. And fuel starts at the E. Like this. Alright, so now that we have the needles pushed slightly in, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the gauge cluster. Just put it in there, and I'm going to turn it on. If I've done this correctly, you should see a nice sweep, and it should not be doing anything weird. Your fuel and your temp levels should be correct. And if that's correct, then I'm going to very carefully push all the needles in, but don't push them all the way as if you're trying to use some force. So I'm just going to slowly push everything in. Now I'm going to turn it off. Sleep it one more time to make sure nothing gets stuck. Alright, so the key point is don't over push, otherwise the black things will hit the face and will cause some sticking. So I'm going to just go ahead, start the car real quick. And then we're just gonna drive around the block just to make sure everything is correct. So, good? All right, go ahead. Alright, everything looks good, so we're just going to take the cluster back out, put the shroud back on, and reinstall. That concludes the end of the tutorial. Hope you guys liked it, and make sure you check our stuff out at Illumaesthetic.com.